moving forward.
Bloodline Entertainment Network, welcome to another edition of Raw Doggin with Mike Dinero, where we're going to be watching the final 30 minutes of Monday Night Raw from tonight, May 8th. What a Raw it is. 48 hours removed from an excellent Backlash, PLE, where you could see the amazing Bloodline Backlash watch-along here on the Bloodline Network. So before we start off anything, before we talk about the action I see on my screen right in front of me, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now here on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Make sure you also check out the website for more content, bloodlinenetwork.com. You got to be kidding me. If you don't already subscribe to the Bloodline Entertainment Network, you are missing out on the best wrestling content, the best sports content, the best entertainment content. You don't want to miss out on it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, 48 hours away. 48 hours removed from an excellent Backlash PLE where the WWE was in my neck of the woods, Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? Shout out to Puerto Rico. Amazing, amazing PLE. Great shit. Right now on the screen, we see Indus Sher, who is hot off of a run in NXT. This Monday Night Raw is stacked because we started the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. We had 2 triple threat matches earlier on in the show, and the 2 winners of those 2 triple threat matches are going one-on-one in the main event momentarily. First matchup, we had Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Absolute banger of a matchup. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Right now, speaking of, we see a very pissed off Nakamura on the screen. He looks very pissed off that he was not the victor in that first matchup. The Miz is taunting Shinsuke here. But yeah, amazing matchup. Absolute banger to start off the night, start off the tournament as well. Seth Rollins picks up the victory. He is in the main event here on Monday Night Raw to see if he's going to be going on to the finals of the World Heavyweight Champion for this beautiful title right here at Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I believe on May 27th. Right now, The Miz is taunting Nakamura. Nakamura's about to knock this dude out. Anyway, second matchup in the tournament, we had The Miz going up against Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor. Another really good matchup that, in the end, Finn Balor comes away with the victory. Now, the predictable answer, I thought, was Cody Rhodes. The predictable answer was Cody Rhodes going to the finals. But no, Brock Lesnar screwed Cody Rhodes out of this tournament and out of this champion because mid-match, after Cody Rhodes looked like he was going to pick up the victory with the crossroads on The Miz, Brock Lesnar pulls Cody Rhodes out of the ring, roughs him up, puts him through the announce table, and Finn Balor capitalizes. He hits the coup de grace and is now going to the final. Not the finals, but going into the finals of this one-night tournament up against Seth Rollins. Now, I think that is very apropos that Seth Rollins and Finn Balor are in the main event here because if you remember when the Universal title was first introduced, who was in the main event of that tournament? Who wrestled in that tournament in the finals? It was Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. So here we introduce a new title, and we're back to Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. How apropos is that? Shout out to the chat. We got my Bloodline brother Tim King in the house. We also got my other Bloodline brother Nick in the house. Thank you very much for joining, y'all. I hope you guys are as excited as I am because I know right now Finn Balor and Seth Rollins is about to tear the house down. There's a lot of time still. There's 25 minutes left in this show. So this could be a banger. Right now on Raw, we're seeing the highlights of the three-way between Cody, Miz, and Finn Balor, where Brock Lesnar showed up and screwed Cody. Brock Lesnar might be the sorest loser in professional wrestling because every time he loses a match, you know he has to get his rematch. Brock Lesnar looks like he's in rough shape, though. Look at that face. Yes, sir. Apropos. Amazing word, right? I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know that's how you spell it. I'm using words that I don't even know how to spell, so I love that word too. And Nick, you was there live for Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. I was there the next night in Brooklyn, the next night where Finn Balor had to relinquish the title because of injuries. But definitely, I was trying to get tickets to that SummerSlam. Did not happen, but I was glad to get tickets to the Raw after. But really sad to see Finn Balor having to relinquish that title and never get back to that position. Yo, Brock Lesnar looked like he put his face through a freaking cheese grater. He looks like a mess. I'm guessing at Night of Champions we get the rematch between Brock and Cody. And if they do rematch, I'm going to say Brock wins it. I could see this going to a trilogy, but who knows? Cody Rhodes here. Let's see what Cody has to say. I'm going to mute this real quick so I don't get no copyrights, but let's see what Cody has to say here. Stupid question is asked to Cody. How do you feel not being no longer in the running for that title? You know, I think that with Cody winning at Backlash, it's not enough. You know, they're really going to break Cody down and have him work his way all the way back up to Roman Reigns eventually. I'm guessing at WrestleMania 40. And if he wins a matchup against Brock Lesnar and then wins the title, the new World Heavyweight Championship, that's not enough. That's not enough adversity. It's not enough hard times for the son of a plumber. So I definitely think that, you know, we're going to break down Cody even more and eventually see him work his way back up. But I don't think he's working his way back up anytime soon. I could see this being a slow dissection of Cody Rhodes, and then eventually he works his way back up towards like maybe late fall, early next year. Eventually maybe winning back-to-back Royal Rumbles. Who knows? Cody's got that BCC style hoodie too. And they are in Jacksonville. A lot of AEW references here. Put it on a shirt. Oh wait, Mike doesn't wear a shirt. Yeah, you know, let me just Hulk Hogan this shit right now. What up, Dan? Thanks for being here, bro. Word. Adversity. I can't hit that high note like everybody else be doing it. Definitely, yo. Like I said, Backlash was an awesome show. If you guys missed it, make sure to go and watch the Backlash Bloodline Watchalong. It was a phenomenal watch-along with my Bloodline family. Check that out. Right now, it is main event time. Finn Balor making his way to the ring. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. I am so excited for this. This was a hell of a Raw. You know, I got to say, like, there was a lot of fresh matches, especially this being the first night where the new rosters were put into play. We had a fresh matchup in the tag team division where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn went against Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. That was a really fun matchup. I would like to see more of that. We've seen a really good matchup, I would say, a couple moments ago with Dominic Mysterio and Xavier Woods. That was fresh. And that's what I like about the draft. You know, we're getting fresh matches. We're getting new faces. Zoe Starks versus Nikki Cross was awesome to see Zoe Starks here on the main roster. So I know a lot of people shit on the draft. A lot of people shit on they're doing this again. They're going back to the well. They're, you know, these brand splits never really last, blah, 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 blah. For the early stages of it and the first couple months, you always get those fresh matches, those fresh feuds, and those fresh faces. So I'm excited for it. Tim says, man, I really thought this would be the finals final. I mean, yeah, me too. Like, this is very interesting. It shows that they're trying to be unpredictable, which I like. What up, Devin? My tribal chief is in the building. Thank you so much for being here, bro. My bloodline brother. Yeah, like I said, I have been enjoying this Raw. You know, let me know in the chat if you guys been enjoying this Raw. You had two very strong triple threat matches in the tournament for the new World Heavyweight Champion. And then, like I said, some fresh matches. We had Rhea Ripley versus Dana Brooke. When was the last time you seen Dana Brooke? But I am not too happy. And this is no hate. This is no shade. But I'm not too happy that it looks like Rhea Ripley's next feud is going to be with Natalya. Now, I know Natalya's a legend, but Rhea Ripley's coming off of one of her best matches of all time at WrestleMania, and then a phenomenal matchup and just story at Backlash when she went against Zelina Vega in Zelina Vega's home island and still won. And then next week at Natalya, I don't know. I don't know if that's the matchup that they're going to go with at Night of Champions, but if this is the next feud, fuck it, bang it out. You know, Night of Champions is only like 20 days away. Let's have that matchup quickly, bang it out, boom, and let's get Rhea Ripley onto bigger and better things. I think that the future is bright, and I think that eventually when we get Zoe Starks versus Rhea Ripley, in the words of my man Tim King, that's going to be a motherfucking banger when we get Zoe Starks versus Rhea Ripley. Shout out to JD, the first woman of the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Tim says, Dinero, who you got winning the SmackDown side? That's very interesting. You have a lot of big names on the SmackDown side. I think that, you know, the pick that there's like a few different ways I could go with this. My favorite wrestler for like the last 2 decades has been AJ Styles. So I'm never mad at AJ Styles going for a championship or AJ Styles being in, you know, the main event. So my heart says AJ Styles. My heart also says Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley is a guy who I've always been a fan of and want to see succeed. My brain says Edge because, you know, Edge is here at the tail end of this run, his second run and probably his career. And, I mean, when you got a Hall of Famer like Edge, it's hard to have him lose in a tournament like this. But also you got Rey Mysterio, who just went to the Hall of Fame as well. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think if it's going to come down to it, I think that's probably going to come down to Edge and Bobby Lashley. And then I could see maybe somebody screwing Bobby Lashley and then Edge wins the matchup. And then we get Seth Rollins versus Edge at Night of Champions. Next week, we're getting Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez versus Damage Control versus, well, I didn't even see that. It was either Damage Control or Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Tim says, yeah, the SmackDown side of things are far more intriguing, definitely because there is so many ways it could go with this. The Raw side was a little predictable with Seth Rollins being in it, and I thought with Cody being in it, but I like the way that they went about the whole Cody getting taken out by Brock Lesnar because, you know, now we have the unpredictability of Finn Balor being in this matchup. I definitely wouldn't be mad if it was Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes right now, but Seth and Finn should be a really fun matchup. These guys always had good chemistry with each other. And yo, shout out to Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura put on a show, and so did Damian Priest. I want to see that matchup. I want to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest one-on-one. Both of those guys fucking really showed out in their opening matchup against Seth Rollins. Nick says, giving these guys some time too. I dig it. Definitely. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I think that last week when we did Raw Doggin with Mike Dinero, it was Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa in the main event, and it was like the last 10 minutes of Raw. So given this 15 minutes, I like it. You know what I mean? Give it some time. Both of these guys are rested. Their matches happened in the first hour of Raw, so they had, you know, about an hour and a half, I would say, to rest up. Finn Balor probably a little less rested than Seth Rollins since he was on second and Seth was on first. We got the Jacksonville, Florida crowd serenading Seth Rollins right now. Maybe they're not getting time, Nick. Maybe we're going to get like 10 minutes of them singing to Seth Rollins, and then we get like 5 minutes of the match. That would suck. I mean, we did see clips earlier on Raw of the crowd singing Seth Rollins' song for 12 straight minutes. That's impressive. You know, I was thinking during Backlash how over Seth Rollins is right now. And then if you remember, if you go back to like WrestleMania like 35, where Seth Rollins he beat Brock Lesnar for the title and he couldn't be any less over. The crowd really did not give a fuck about Seth Rollins. And then now look at him. He's one of the most, if not the most popular guy right now in the eyes of the WWE universe. Got to test the strength right now between Finn and Seth. Nice snapmare by Finn. I mean, as much as I would like to see Finn Balor win this title, and I do feel like this title was made for someone like Finn Balor. I mean, not Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. I do think that would be very interesting to see Finn Balor back on top with a world title, especially with the help of Judgment Day, or with the backup of Judgment Day. Could be interesting. I do think it's a shame that Finn Balor never got to get back to that spot as world champion. But right now, like I said, Seth Rollins is just so over with the crowd. And every time you see him, he's putting on absolutely great matches. It's hard to deny that man this world title. Shit, I would say even his matchup with Omos was awesome. And Omos gets a lot of hate. But Omos versus Seth Rollins was a really fun matchup. It wasn't a 5-star classic. You're not going to see 5-star classics out of Omos. But it was fun. And to be honest, I would rather a fun matchup over a, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm all for, living in the moment. I'd rather have fun watching a matchup than having just two guys do a bunch of flips and acrobatic shit. Tim says, if someone calls Seth here, it could be fun and do Finn versus AJ. Wow. I didn't even think about that. Finn versus AJ would be really cool, especially because the OC just popped up out of obscurity again. They were seen on TV for a while, and now they're back on SmackDown, and they look like they're getting a push. So the history with Finn Balor and the Bullet Club, Finn versus AJ, didn't seem like it was done. They had the feud with the Judgment Day and the OC, and then it kind of just fizzled out. So I would like to see that matchup for sure. That could be interesting. But who do you have taking out Seth Rollins? And yeah, I totally agree. Seth Rollins deserves this. And it's for many other reasons too. Not only is he the most over right now, not only is he putting on bangers, but Seth Rollins is a guy where for the last 2 years, he kind of took a step out of the spotlight just to put the spotlight on other people. He lost a lot in the last 2 years to make guys like Austin Theory, to make guys like Cody Rhodes when he returned. Seth Rollins, he definitely was unselfish for the last couple of years. So Seth Rollins deserves this. I'm not saying, give out participation trophies and consolation prizes, but Seth Rollins deserves this world title. Hell, I was even saying if someone was going to take the title off of Roman Reigns, I wouldn't mind if it was Seth. So, I'm not one of these guys who thinks that Roman Reigns should lose that title. So if I'm over here saying that I wouldn't mind if Seth took that title from Roman, then I'm all for Seth. I'm all for Seth Rollins winning this world title. And you know Seth Rollins is going to be a guy who's there week in and week out, making the house shows, making every Raw, wrestling on every PLE, defending that title. Kind of like what Triple H said this title was going to represent. So Seth Rollins fits that description to a T. Drew McIntyre. That would be very interesting. You know, Drew McIntyre is a guy who I was very surprised was not listed in the participants for this tournament. Drew McIntyre is a guy who you could always throw into that world title picture. And to be honest, him and Seth would be a fucking banger. So I wouldn't mind that, especially if it's a surprise. Like right now, McIntyre comes out, screws Seth Rollins. You get McIntyre and Seth Rollins feuding, and then Finn and what if it's Finn and Edge? You know, we seen their feud for like the whole year. We seen their Hell in a Cell matchup. What if the icing on the cake to end the feud between Edge and the Judgment Day is the finals of the world title tournament at Night of Champions? That would be dope. I wouldn't be mad at Finn Balor and Edge being in the finals of this tournament, especially with the history and the story. Shit, I like that now. I actually wouldn't mind that at all. But that's if what TK says happens. And if Drew does come out here, that would be awesome. You know, I don't buy the rumors that Drew McIntyre is leaving the WWE. I think that Drew McIntyre would, you know, I think he just fits in WWE so perfectly. I know he left WWE in the past, but right now I think that there's a lot more for him to do in the WWE. I would hate to see him leave. Nice backbreaker there by Seth Rollins. We see a replay here of Finn Balor hitting a running powerbomb onto Seth Rollins onto the barricade. If you remember, that is the move that Seth Rollins did on Finn Balor at SummerSlam in 2017 that injured Finn Balor and made him have to relinquish that Universal Champion. All is fair in love and war, baby. Yo, I'm looking at the screen right now. I'm going to tell you this right now. For all the hate that this title's been getting, design-wise, this is a sexy-ass title. I don't give a fuck. That is a sexy title. Don't at me. I like this title a lot. You know, I know a lot of people saying they should have brought back the big gold, but why? You know what I mean? Like, let's look at the future. Let's stop going back into the past. And that's coming from Mr. Wrestling DeLorean. Let's not look at the past. You know what I mean? That was a beautiful title, yes, but instead of always going, you know, back to the past, I think that this is a beautiful title for the future. And I hope, since Roman Reigns is going to be on SmackDown this upcoming Friday, I hope that they announce what they're doing with those two titles, because to have Roman Reigns walking around with two titles and then you have this new title, it will look stupid. I think they just need to fuse those two titles, combine them, maybe just, you know, combine them and have him walk around with the black strap championship. I wouldn't be mad if they make another championship, like, you know, maybe make it a gold strap. But he needs to be walking around with one title, especially if he's just the champion now of one brand. Finn Balor is bleeding from the mouth. This match is getting physical now. I like it. Seth just repeatedly banging the head on Finn Balor onto that ring apron. Whew, nice rolling elbow. I think just for the fact that everybody thinks that Seth Rollins is going to win this, I think you pull the trigger with Finn. Like I said, Judgment Day is so over right now. I don't think it's a bad idea to have Finn Balor go all the way and win this title. Right now, with Rhea Ripley being one of the hottest females on that roster, with Damian Priest coming off of a fucking classic with Bad Bunny, with Dominic being the most hated heel in the WWE, you give that title to Finn. Judgment Day's looking like a fucking monster. Oh, roll up. Nice double stomp by Finn Balor. Seth Rollins caught Finn Balor up top, slacking. Boom, big superplex rolled through to the Falcon Arrow. Oh, no, reversal. Oh, shit. It's coming down to the nitty gritty. We got 3 minutes. What up, Faction Cast? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, Finn Balor's mouth is busted up. This has been a really good main event. Capping off a really good Raw. Finn Balor stomping a mud hole in Seth Rollins and walking that motherfucker dry. Big drop kick to the back of the head. Woo! Yeah, Finn Balor is feeling it right now. It's going up to the top, probably for the coup de grace. Seth Rollins is out right now. Oh, Seth going for pedigree? One arm pedigree. I never seen that before. Dev says fire match so far. Good counters by Finn. Definitely, yo, Finn is in rare form right now. Kicked out of the pedigree. It's a really good main event. Seth Rollins looks like a man possessed right now. Setting up for that stomp. Finn Balor's in position. Uh-oh. Nope. Misses the stomp. Roll through with the schoolboy. Oh, what? Seth Rollins with a front stomp to the face? I never seen that before. Boom. Big stomp. It's over. It is over. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins. All right. Boom. Seth Rollins is representing Raw going into the Night of Champions. It's going to the finals. He's either going to face one of SmackDown's top 6 wrestlers. Got Bobby Lashley, Austin Theory, and Sheamus. You got Rey Mysterio, Edge, and AJ Styles. Yo, SmackDown's going to be crazy. I can't wait. Who do you guys think now? You got Seth Rollins punching his ticket, going to the finals, going to what's called? Going to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. JD says, great match. Wouldn't mind seeing Seth versus AJ. Hey, they didn't wrestle many times in WWE. They had like a quick little feud, but Seth versus AJ would be awesome. Yeah, look at that fucking beautiful title. Look at that title. Whew, it's nice. Anyway, I really enjoyed that Monday Night Raw. I thought that was a great episode. I love the two triple threat matches. That main event was a banger. Love the fresh matches we got, like Zoe Starks versus Nikki Cross, like Imperium versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Really, really good episode of Raw. I'm loving it. I think that is good. I am excited to see SmackDown this week. I'm excited to see who's going to be going against Seth Rollins at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia for that WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But definitely a really good show. I appreciate you, Nick. Thank you so much, bro. Really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me here on another edition of Raw Doggin with Mike Dinero, where we watched the last 30 minutes of Monday Night Raw. Make sure you check out the BloodlineNetwork.com for amazing content, all the podcasts here on the Bloodline, all the great articles, all the sports articles. Yo, amazing content. Make sure you check out BloodlineNetwork.com. And also, since you're here, hit that subscribe button right now here on the YouTube to the Bloodline Entertainment Network. We have a big night for you tomorrow because we have the debut edition of the Director's Cut. Really cool. We're going to bring in a lot more content to the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Definitely cool to see Graydon bring what he does best here to the Bloodline Entertainment Network with the Director's Cut debuting tomorrow. I'm really excited for that. Make sure you tune in and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really, really appreciate you guys. And, honestly, without you, there is no me. So thank you so much. Continuing to support the Bloodline, continuing to support all my Bloodline family. Without you, there is no us. So thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button. Throw your ones up in the air. Peace out. I love you guys.